Welcome back. We are here with 713. In the last one, we did have Ginkgo accusing Akiteru of killing his father, though we know it was Shintaro, and making a big scene and getting Heijiro involved because he wants to protect his reputation. And then also poor Matsu died of the stress of it all. So that is what happened in the last one. We are also currently pregnant with our next child. Hopefully that one survives. And we only have one role for this year. Again, that's going to be kind of par for the course when we are here at the beginning and don't have as many Sims. So Takeya Takesaka is becoming a toddler. So she's becoming a toddler, and in order to do that, she can't get a 4, 8, 12, or 16. Let's do it. Oh, no. Okay, well, she died. Oh my gosh. Am I going to have any surviving children? We only have, I mean, we've got one kid that was born. I guess it's only been a couple of years. I shouldn't complain yet. I'm worried that, like, I'm going to lose one of my main Sims and we're not going to have any kids. But we will cross that bridge when we get there. So let's hop into the game. All right, so we are home. We are very pregnant. Everyone has just gotten up, although it is 4:30 in the morning. We are still missing Matsu, of course. We are missing her a lot. I'm going to send Kiyoshi to forage, and we're going to have Kaede do some painting to make some money, and we'll have Akiteru do his training that he's been doing. Honestly, I'm really thinking about whether or not we should have him be in an actual career. Doing the odd jobs is just like, I always find excuses not to do them because I'm doing other things, but I think it would be better for us if he had like a schedule of some sort. I don't know. We're going to have to figure it out. Anyway, we still have Kiyoshi mentoring him and teaching him the way of the samurai and all of that stuff. That is really important there. And we have Kaede taking care of the household stuff. She is currently cooking a meal for everyone, and then I'm just kind of getting everyone ready for the day. Also, it's really cute. Both of them have a want to have a child, so she is going to have the baby in this part. So hopefully that baby does survive, and we can all be a happy family and finally have an heir. I mean, come on. So anyway, what is going on is that Hanami has come to visit our house, even though we're going out to meet her, and she's just going to walk away, and I'm going to have to grab her again, and it's really annoying, but you know how Sims are. So Hanami has come to our house kind of under, maybe incognito, and she is going to be talking to Akiteru, and she's like, look, I have this suspicion that it was Shintaro who killed your father, and I really, it was really hard for her to come here and to kind of tell him that she suspects Shintaro of the murder, especially because, like, that's her husband, this is her family, and there's this really strong culture around sticking by your family, and I think that a wife betraying her husband in this way would be really, really bad. Like, nobody would respect her for that, even though she is doing the right thing because he killed someone, right? So, and he killed his own father, which, you'd think. But anyway, so she's going to come here. We're also going to have Kaede kind of come out and be like, little in there, especially because Hanami used to be engaged to Akiteru before his brother stole her away. So she is a little bit, keeping her eye on things. But anyway, so he is kind of reeling with this information. Oh, look, why are you here? Okay, but anyway, so also Koryo is pregnant. So she is pregnant. She rolled the D1 on the D4 in order to have a child at the same time as Haru. So we'll see if she has a boy or not. And that would definitely make Haru's life more interesting. So anyway, we are having everyone go to sleep. And yes, so Hanami has come and told Akiteru about her suspicions. She's like, I don't really have proof. I just, they've been sneaking around. He's been acting weird. I can tell that there's something going on there. So anyway, then we have our baby being born, and it's a girl, and we're rolling, and she survives. So she survived, our little girl, and I am trying to just kind of look for names here. Honestly, it's only just occurred to me that maybe I have the first and last names mixed up on that website. I'm really not sure. I've been trying to look at them, and I can't really tell what is the first name and what is the last name, mostly because I'm not, that familiar with naming conventions in Japanese. But anyway, it'll be fine. So I was thinking about a name that would be good for her, for our daughter. And I kind of wanted to name her after Matsu, who passed, but I didn't want to have two Sims that had the same exact name. Like, I'm okay with naming girls if their last names are going to change or they're different. I mean, I guess her last name would change. But, like, I guess what I'm saying is if it was, like, a mother's mother where the father didn't take their last name. Anyway, so we're actually going to name her Matsura, which is kind of like Matsu. Like, Matsu would be a nickname for that, but that is not her full name. So I thought that would be nice. And everybody has so many whims to like be friends with each other and blah, blah, blah. So of course, Akiteru and Kiyoyoshi are obviously continuing to get very close because they are, mentor and mentee. And Akiteru is trying to kind of take over this family, right? He's trying to step into Kiyoyoshi's shoes for later when Kiyoyoshi does end up eventually passing. He actually rolled like the maximum to live. He's going to live for 10 years. So I'm not really worried about him right now. But anyway, we have our little baby girl. She's always crying, of course. She's crybaby. And we are going to just take care of everything. It is now Saturday, so we are actually going to, as soon as he's ready for the day. Oh, look. Okay, so another baby was born, and Haru just had a girl, so we're going to name her Hiraga, Tyra. And then we are going to have Hanami have her baby, and her baby is going to be Nishio Takesaka, and it is also a girl. So all girls still, no boys. Also, if you know which one is the first name and which one is the last name, like, have I been giving all my Sims last name, first names? I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell on that website, to be completely honest with you. Like, I don't know. I might look like an idiot if I'm giving them last names as their first names, but you're just going to have to tell me because I don't know what I'm doing. I don't really recognize any of these names as first or last names. No, they're not. I'm not familiar with them. And the website doesn't tell me. So, anyway. Moving on, we have Akiteru going over to Haru's house, so he is going to come and visit. Koryo is not going to get pregnant again with Haru, although she still hasn't had her baby yet. So there's that. And then we are going to be here, and we're going to have a talk with Heijiro. So Akiteru is coming here. He knows Heijiro is the one who's investigating everything. So he's basically like, look, I know that you're investigating me for the murder of my father, but I wanted you to know that I have it on good authority that it was actually Shintaro and blah, blah, blah. So honestly, like, Heijiro's like, you're not super convincing, my guy. So he is a little suspicious of Akiteru saying all this stuff, but he knows that, like, Haru has kind of said that she didn't feel like Akiteru was the one who did it. But basically, wow, that went by really fast. I haven't even explained it. You're just going to have to let me explain. So basically, Heijiro, though the evidence is flimsy, is actually kind of on board with this because when you think about it, he is responsible for what's going on, and he also kind of gets the loot from whoever is in trouble for it. So say Akiteru was found guilty, maybe their house would get confiscated, but it's not really anything. They're peasants. They've got like a couple thousand simoleons to their names. They don't really have anything of value. Meanwhile, Shintaro has just inherited the farm that gives food to literally everyone in this area. Like, it is the most prominent farm in the area, and everybody relies on it. So if he were to take control of that land and have control over the food supply in the area, like, that's a big deal. That's a big win for him. So he's kind of like, wow, I have more to gain if I agree that Shintaro might be the one to blame. So that is kind of his thinking there, is that he has as an opportunity here to get more things to kind of bolster his reputation in the Tyra clan and all of that stuff. So it's very, very interesting that he would, you know, take pretty flimsy explanation for that. But he does ask Akiteru, like, who told you that? And Akiteru does admit that it was Shintaro's wife, which actually is definitely a good witness, but everyone knows that, like, no one would actually acknowledge that from her if it were to be anything. Anyway, Matsu is here. She broke her sink, but then she cleaned up after herself, and now she's cooking, and she's super sweet. And Kaede was able to talk to her about her fears of death and stuff, and it was just, like, actually really nice that her ghost came here. Kyoyoshi is getting to see her again and all of that stuff, so actually it's pretty cute. And we are now into the next day, so we're going to eat our food, and we are going to just take care of all of this. And the baby is also aging up into an infant today, so I do have to get a few things done for that. So we are going to have to get a crib and stuff, so we're going to see where that happens here. Honestly, so you'll see in just a second. What I'm going to do is Kyoyoshi doesn't need a double bed to himself anymore, so we're going to give him a single bed, and we're going to use the rest of the space for the baby. And I think that that's fine, except for the part where I realize now that what I should have done is moved Kyoyoshi and the baby into the main area here and moved the double bed into the other bedroom so that the couple that woohoos can woohoo without having other people you know, in the same room at the same time. So that is something that I failed to consider, but that's okay. So off camera after this, I'm going to move all of the stuff from this room into the other room, and then the bedroom will become Akiteru and Kaede's bedroom, and then all of the children and also Kyoyoshi will be sleeping in the, like, living room behind that screen. So that's, of course, until we're able to upgrade our house, but let's be honest, we can't really upgrade our house anytime soon because we are really poor. we're really very poor. So there's that. And anyway, I'm just trying to figure out all of this baby stuff. I really didn't know if I was going to, what I was going to do, what my plan was exactly. I don't know. I was just doing my best. Usually what happens if I do something that's, like, on screen, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to do this right now. And then I do it right now. And then later when I finished playing for the year, I'm like, actually, I kind of changed my mind. I changed my mind about this. So that's the deal. Anyway, we are also going to give our little baby a makeover. I don't actually have a lot of good infant CC in general. Never mind, like, having infant CC for this time period. So that's, anyway, but it's fine. So we are going to just change her pictures here, and we are going to upload that if it ever uploads. Gosh, that took forever. So yes, here we are. And we are actually going to now have Akiteru and Heijiro go over to the Takesaka household in order to accuse Shintaro of the murder. So that is what's going to happen. And we are going to accuse him of that. And that's all very dramatic. So here we are. We are back here. And I'm just going to gain control over everybody because I need it. But yes, so we're going to gain control over everyone. They're going to come in here and, of course, Ginkgo is going to be like, you've got a lot of nerve coming here. And so they are going to come here, and basically Heijiro is going to take the lead, although Akiteru, I mean, honestly, he's really just kind of there because I didn't want to leave our household. Is that like a bad reason? But anyway, we are going to just have this conversation where Heijiro's like, look, I've got it on good authority that actually it was Shintaro who did this. And so it is really a very big deal. So they are going to argue about it. Of course, Ginkgo is going to be like, you're wrong. Like, my son would never. That was my husband. How could you say this? Akiteru is totally lying to you. And, you know, all of the stuff that you would expect, right? You would expect her to say. So she is just like totally beside herself because she's like, I can't believe he believes that, blah, blah, blah. And she's going to talk to Shintaro and be like, how could they possibly be believing something so horrible and blah, blah, blah. And Shintaro is like kind of scared now that he is low-key being accused of this. So he is going to be talking to his mom, and he's going to say to his mom basically like, actually, the truth is, I did do it. And she's like, what do you mean you did it? Of course, I moved everything along way too quickly in this. We just didn't have enough time in the day, you know. But she's like, what do you mean you did it? And he's basically like, well, you told me that I was going to lose my position, and so I did something about it. And she's like, that's not what I meant. Like, how could you have gotten it so wrong? So basically, Ginkgo is now like, oh my god, like, what do I do? Because it was her son, and she's kind of doesn't know what to do, especially since now they are feeling like it was Shintaro. Like, there was a difference when she was able to kind of say that it was Akiteru, but now that the blame is being firmly put on Shintaro, she's concerned. So anyway, that's where we're going to wrap up with that household. I know we've already come home. That's not where we're wrapping up the video. And so basically we have Ginkgo and Shintaro trying to figure out what they're going to do. You know, what are they going to do in order to, you know, potentially either get out of this or what? Like, what can they do? And of course, it becomes clear to them pretty quickly that that Hanami sold him out. I mean, who else would it be? And so, obviously, you know, but that whole thing, like, they're not going to do anything to Hanami. Like, obviously, they're mad at her, but, like, obviously, they can't, like, kill her or anything. Like, they can't get rid of her. He could probably divorce her, but not, like, right this second. So, they're not going to do anything right at this moment. But they are, you know, concerned that he was betrayed by his wife, which is a big deal. So we're back home, and we are going to take care of our baby, who is now an infant. She is super cute. She is our current heir because we have no sons, so there's that. And we are just doing a really great job of taking care of her, actually. Even though she's constantly unhappy, her needs are met. So there's that. But yeah, so we're doing good with the baby. It's now nighttime. We're just getting some sleep. And they are, you know, getting their rest. Akiteru is feeling pretty comfortable now that, you know, he's not going to be having any problems with the law. He is not really that nervous about it. So that's good. Love that for him. And now our baby again is crying, so I'm having Kyoyoshi kind of take care of her for the most part. So that is good. And yep, they're happy. They're in good shape. So we are then going to just take care of them. We are having them woohoo as well, like, you know, doing some woohoo so that they can potentially have more babies. That is what we want, after all, is plenty of babies, because the roles are not good. The roles are not good for us. So we are going to do our best here to just, you know. So she is going to do that, and then we are going to actually head out now that it is the last day of the year. I don't feel bad about leaving the household, so we are going to go over to the Takisake household, and we are going to basically be visiting them and finding out what Shintaro is going to do, what is the outcome of all of this. And I'm sure that you guys have some guesses, considering what is supposed to happen already this year. We are also losing one of their children, which is kind of a bummer, but basically, we are going to have Ginkgo and Shintaro talk. Honestly, Ginkgo is yelling at Shintaro. For the first time in his whole life, his mom is yelling at him because, obviously she's babied him a lot, and that is why we are in the situation we are in. But she has babied him a lot, and she is basically going to talk to him and be like, don't worry, I'm going to take care of this. I'm going to take care of you. And she's really upset, but she's lived her whole life for her son. Like, her whole purpose was to get married and have a son and have her son become the man of the house and all that stuff. And she got rid of Akutaro for it. And she did all this stuff for her son. Like, her whole life has been revolved around her son. And so obviously the conclusion that she would come to is to come and talk to Heijiro and basically tell him that it was her. That it was her who killed her husband. She was worried about her stepson coming back, and so she was the one who did it. So she is going to admit guilt to a crime she did not commit, but she's going to do it to protect her son from the consequences of his actions. So because Heijiro doesn't want to have a big deal made out of this whole situation, he is actually going to just quietly execute her. So the execution has just happened, and Ginkgo has now passed. So she is now deceased, and that is how she died this year. Is she died being executed for her son's crimes, which is so annoying. But it is totally something she would do. Like, she's that type of mother where she, wants to protect her child from his own actions, even though she shouldn't. She should let him. I mean, at this point it's too late, right? But in his life, she should have let him learn and take consequences for his actions so that it didn't get to the point where he was literally murdering people. So that's where we're at. That is where we're going to start wrapping up the video by getting our pictures for everyone and getting everything done. So just a little bit of housekeeping and all of that. So we have little Hiraga here as well, just getting a makeover. Honestly, I'm kind of lazy with the infant makeovers in general because we never see these babies. Like, they're not like they're walking around town. So yes, we have 3 babies born. Actually, we have a 4th baby born that was born off screen. You guessed it, Koryo's baby was born off screen, just to spite me. And she actually had a girl. She had a girl, and we named her, I forget what we named her, honestly. But anyway, I can check. Hold on. She had a girl, so she still does not have a son. The girl's name is Sasaki. And yeah, so she still doesn't have a son. She was hoping for one, and she's mad that she had another girl because she is scared that Haru is going to be able to have a son before her, and Haru's son will, or like that she won't have a son at all, and Haru's children will inherit their family. But she's freaking out about that. Anyway, they both had girls. So that's where we're at. So we have a surviving baby. We lost Ginkgo. What's happening next year? Just some birthdays for the kids. No one is officially dying next year, although some of them might die next year. We will see where we go with that. So I hope that you guys are excited. I hope you guys enjoy these stories. I'm trying to come up with a story for each video for this one because I do have a whole week to think about it versus the other one where so much is happening all the time. But yeah, let me know what you think, and I'll catch you in the next one.